Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another commentary video, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why Ruin and Pop is not always the answer, because whenever people really want to sweat, whenever people really want to win in Dead by Daylight, their go-to seems to be either Ruin Undying or Pop. Usually this is tied together with like Tinker or something to that extent as well, but essentially if you want to sweat in Dead by Daylight, these are your two go-to perks if you are currently playing Killer and you want to win the game like as swiftly as possible and as effectively as possible. These are the two go-to perks, but I'm here to tell you that these two perks aren't necessarily the answer if you're looking to sweat. And I think it's a common misconception that if you want to win, you just like slap on Ruin Undying or Pop, but I'm going to explain to you why that doesn't necessarily always work. I think all in all it's a pretty simple concept to understand, but it's one that a lot of people don't think about. And I think a lot of people go to like content creators videos and like look at recommended builds, and there's always like Pop or Ruin on like the how do I win, what is the sweatiest build with this character. And of course I want to caveat this and say like, yeah, Pop is never bad, right? Or Ruin is never bad, so to speak. Like these things you will always get value out of, even in Ruin that can go in like the first 30 seconds as long as they pop it. Like they still have to take time to find it and still take time to pop that totem, and so that's somebody that's not on a gen. So like I'm not saying these things are bad in any way, but what I am going to say is that on certain characters, when you just slap on Pop, you slap on Ruin, it's not going to be the most helpful thing. Let's take a good example here. Let's take somebody like Clown. Clown is a character that technically has a movement option with his yellow gas, but it's only a 5% increase, so it's so marginal that you don't really like notice it, and the only time it really helps is like at short loops and that sort of thing. It's not really like a helpful movement option. Well, like if you're playing Clown, by all means, and still throw down the yellow gas as you're like zooming around the map. But all in all, it's not going to do a great deal of help for you as a movement option. So Clown still kind of is mostly without a swift way to get around the map. And the whole point of Pop and Ruin together is that they, like the whole point of Pop and Ruin together, so you rush up to the gen, you push the survivors off, you make sure that they're not going to complete the gen, and at that point you either hit it with Pop, you kick the gen with Pop and you take 25% of its progress, or you push them off and the gen starts regressing at 200% of the normal speed. Either way, you're getting massive regression no matter what you do there. The problem is if you're playing somebody like Clown who has a hard time getting around a map, let's say you're on a very large map like Temple of Purgation, Mother's Dwelling, Ormond Resort. All of these maps are very large and take a really long time for somebody without a good movement option to get around. So let's say you're on one side of the ski lodge on Ormond, and the gen that's about to be finished is on the complete other side in Shack. Even if you throw that yellow bottle and you rush right towards it, you have Tinker on, it lets you know that that gen's at its 70th percentile, and you start zooming over there with your Pop or your Ruin, odds are that gen's gonna get done by the time you get there, just because you're playing a character that doesn't really have the movement options to take full advantage of Ruin or Pop, no matter which one you had equipped. So even though you said to yourself, man, I'm gonna sweat, man, I really want to like win this match, so I'm gonna slap on Pop, I'm gonna slap on Ruin, you're not really playing a character that's able to like really take full advantage of the incredible power that those perks have, just because you're just not able to be there to show up in these places to push these people off the gens in the first place to get those perks to go into effect. So even if you bring those things, you're not necessarily going to be, I would say, winning or having a massive value out of these perks just because you brought them along. I think there's this misconception out in the DBD community that if you just like bring these things, you're just going to have a much easier time winning just because you happen to bring them. And I think you need to, I think this video is just like a refresher to tell you that like, yeah, these things are strong on everybody, but like know that the characters without movement options, so like perfect characters for Ruin or Pop would be like Blight, Spirit, Nurse, Freddy, even just basically anybody with a fast movement option that can get them around the map very quickly. But if you're running it on someone, say like Myers, Clown, Pig, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of value out of it because you're not able to have the movement option to get there to the gens that are being finished to actually put the slowdown into effect. So yeah, just be a little bit more careful out there, and if you're wanting to sweat in a match, don't just necessarily slap on Ruin or Pop or both and just think you're automatically going to get results out of it, just because like some characters just kind of can't make that happen. So be a little bit more careful about that. But yeah, hopefully you liked this video, and if you did like it, make sure you like it down below. We are full speed ahead, going towards that 1,000 sub-Aroonies, where I can actually like do group polls and fun stuff like that. It's going to be a lot better for you guys on the content side of things. So I really appreciate those of you who subbed so far, and if you are not subbed already, I really appreciate it. It's not permanent, you can take it away whenever you want. So yeah, I appreciate that so much, and if I don't see you in the next video, I will see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.